Hey guys, Midnight Strike here, back to review another classic for you. And first and foremost, let me apologize for my absence. I actually just got back, from work, seeing my girlfriend, school. Life kind of interferes, and that's why I really haven't been posting that many videos this month. So be on the lookout for some more stuff as the year progresses. Now, on to the classic I am reviewing. I am going to be doing a review on one of my favorite Anthrax albums, known as Among the Living, which is actually a fan favorite by the band, probably the one that boosted their popularity as we know it. This is pretty much what put them into that realm, placed them in the category of the Big Four, as opposed to just that one random thrash metal band that started off in the same era as Metallica and the like. So when we get into it, this is kind of the point where Joey Belladonna's voice had started to waver, coming off of the success of Spreading the Disease with two very amazing, just very well-known singles such as, Madhouse and Armed and Dangerous. It was kind of hard to follow up that act. It was kind of a legendary act to follow up, and they had to outdo themselves tremendously in order to even get close to that amount of success again. But they're Anthrax, and they managed to pull it off yet again for this amazing album right here, Among the Living. One of my favorites, probably my favorite overall Anthrax album, tied with Worship Music. I'm not sure. Worship Music is just an amazing comeback album for me, and I don't know, it's one of those legendary moments where you just thought it would never happen. Say, Joey Belladonna's back in the band, But enough about that. We are talking about 1987's Among the Living. 9 songs, 9 tracks, all awesome. There's not even really that much of filler tracks on here, so that being said, getting into it, there's nothing but thrashy licks, awesome guitar solos, amazing vocals, albeit not as high-pitched as Spreading the Disease, but they fit the songs at hand. So, you got those, you got some frantic drum beats, and because of this album, as well as Worship Music and Persistence of Time, this pretty much made me believe that Charlie Benante was probably one of my favorite drummers of all time. He still is, but, Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater, just images and words, Learning to Live, After I heard that song, it was pretty much like top 2 favorite drummers. Mike Portnoy, Charlie Benante. Enough ranting, drummers, awesome. That doesn't necessarily detract from Charlie Benante, though. His drumming on this album is pretty much perfection. It pretty much just fits the aura that these songs give off. So, getting into it, it starts off with one of the more well-known songs. Of course, it kicks off with the title track, Among the Living, which starts off on a more subtle note while building up intensity. Now, this song actually gets a lot heavier as it goes along. Like I said, it builds up, and it's very sound structurally as well. Everything is pretty much where it needs to be, from the solo, from the verse structure, from Joey Belladonna hitting all the high notes, and like I said, it's not as high, he doesn't sing as high pitch as on, say, Spreading the Disease, but it does fit. So, that being said, the song is about, 5 minutes, 15, 16 seconds long, so it's about a, decent length. The next song is Caught in a Mosh, again, beginning on a more subtle note, and this time, instead of getting heavier, it gets faster, more frantic, fast-paced, and this is probably one of the more fast songs on the album. It's not necessarily heavy, but it's more of the well-known songs that Anthrax are known for, the band is known for, and I don't know, it's just one of those single-worthy songs. It's more, appealing to the ear, radio-friendly and everything. It's got a lot of fast-paced singing, and with that, he sounds kind of like he's running out of breath sometimes, because he's trying to sing so fast, Joey Belladonna, but his voice is always intact. It never really wavers at all, but sometimes you can kind of tell that he's struggling to keep up with it. So, that being said, it is pretty fast-paced, so I don't really blame him for that, but it does sound good. The next one, I Am the Law. This is my second favorite song, next to Fight 'Em Till You Can't off Worship Music. I Am the Law, really heavy, more mid-tempo-ish, and it's got really great lyrics, actually. It's one of the more, just poking fun at stuff songs, kind of. Doesn't really take itself too seriously. I mean, come on, it's about Judge Dredd, for God's sakes. He's the judge, jury, and executioner. And that's one of the things, is Anthrax are more of the lighthearted kind of band, where they just take influence from different comics and just everything that they read, and they're not really too into, like, the whole, like, satanic metal thing. They're into more, just giving positive influences. So, that being said, this song surely does put that out. The next one is Nice Fucking Life, NFL. And this is another fast one, probably more in the vein of Cotton and Mosh, although not as fast-paced. So, you know, for a lot of it, there are backing vocals from Scott Ian, so you can definitely hear those influences. And that was on Cotton and Mosh as well, just not as much. So it's a fast-paced song, really good, I really like it. The next one, A Skeleton in the Closet. This is another good one, another fast-paced one, and not so much on the backing vocals from Scott Ian, of course, but it is still very good in that department with the lyrics and the vocals themselves. So the next one, of course, Indians. This one is another one where it begins with the drum beat for the Indian chant, you know, and then it begins with some guitars as well, throw those in there, and then it just gets really heavy with an awesome, it just comes out of nowhere. It just starts getting heavier and heavier and more frantic, and this is probably one of the most well-known singles off of this entire album. One of my favorite songs, awesome lyrics, just awesome melody, awesome riff structure. Everything about this song is just fine-tuned, perfect, classic, 100% vintage Anthrax. So, number 7 is My World, or One World, excuse me, My World. One World, and this is the one where it just kind of begins, and it's a little bit slower, but then it gets really, really fast as it goes along, and the vocal harmonies are really good, especially when Joey Belladonna begins the chorus and the pre-chorus, and just kind of the verse structure overall is just really good in this one. ADI Horror of It All, this is more of a mid-tempo song, and it kind of revolves around more of the guitar-driven aspect, and it's grade A thrash. I really like it. It's about, 7 minutes and 49 seconds or so. A lot of great riffs in it, a lot of great solos and everything, pretty much what you'd expect from Anthrax. Imitation of Life, this one is weird because I would imagine it to be more of in the center, by Skeleton in the Closet and Nice Fucking Life. It kind of fits in with those two, so it could be a trilogy of sorts, yet we're closing the album with it. So I found that to be a little weird, as those 3 songs share a lot of similarities in the song structures, in how fast they are, and how frantic, and just the overall structure of the song, I suppose. They all revolve around a guitar-driven melody, so there's a lot of thrashy guitars in it, and it's really fast, especially in the chorus. And again, he has that fast-talking moves like he did in Cotton and Mosh. So, overall, I'd probably give this album, 9.8 out of 10. It's not necessarily perfect, but it is legendary, it is epic, 100% grade A, like I said, classic vintage Anthrax and the like, and aside from maybe like Joey's voice on some of the material, as well as just some of the song placement, I really have no problems with this album. I mean, it's one of my favorite Anthrax albums, if not my very favorite Anthrax album of all time. So, with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. This is Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.